Greetings, brothers. Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
Hello, good evening, welcome. Hello everybody, sorry we're a couple of minutes late. Sunday night means checking out army lists. Welcome everyone in the chat. How are you? Matthew, Mike, Horathian, Lamartas, Fletcher, nice to see everybody. How is everybody tonight? Okay. Cool. Let's get fired into some army lists. We are going to start with Nick Bell. And it is 1,000 point Liberator Assault Group. We've got Captain with Ragefield Warrior. We've got Mephiston. Probably a good number of characters for 1,000 points. Assault Intercessor Squad. They'll be with nothing, I guess. Nothing to lead them. Ballistic Dreadnought, Outriders, 3-man Sanguinary Guard, and Terminators and a Vindicator tank. Interesting. Okay. So the captain of the jump pack will lead the Sanguinary Guard. Okay, so we've got Strength 9 Sanguinary Guard. We've got three of them. Hold on, one of my kids has woken up. I'm having a bit of a kid issue tonight. I'll be 1 second. I am sorry, we are back. Yeah, something weird going on with one of my kids. Sorry. Where were we? 1,000 point list. Captain with a jump pack with 3 Sanguinary Guard. I think I kind of like that in 1,000 points. It's probably pretty devastating. We've got the Rage on the Captain. We should definitely have a Power Fist on this Captain, though, right? Like, I guess it's a mistake not to have Power Fist on the Captain. It's minor. Outriders as a scoring unit, a single Vindicator tank. I mean, a Vindicator tank plus a Ballistic Dreadnought is probably pretty good in 1,000 points. Yeah, I hope they're okay as well. I'm sure they will be. Terminators, Assault Intercessors, Mephiston. Yeah, I mean, I guess the Ballistic Dreadnought can sit on the home field objective, potentially. The Assault Intercessors just can come and party a little bit. Thunderhander on the Captain is totally fine. Unit of Outriders, totally fine. Do you know what? There could be an argument in this list for removing that unit of Outriders and changing it to an Impulsor. Because Outriders don't really kill that much stuff. An Impulsor pretty much has the same survivability, maybe even a little bit more than Outriders. And Mephiston and the Assault Intercessor squads could definitely, they could use a ride to get wherever they need to go a little bit faster. So there's an argument to change that out. But, I mean, the rest of the list to me seems fine. So Nick normally plays the 1,000 point list, trying to follow the guidelines. It's not quite as simple as 1,000 points because if you take 2 tanks and vehicles, you're going to struggle to stay at the right proportions. Yeah, I mean, I guess the thing is, if you have a Ballistic Dreadnought and a Vindicator tank in 1,000 points, it probably feels pretty good. I feel most of our jump melee that used to kill things are now too expensive. Yeah, I think Death Company are best in 10-man squads. I think I probably prefer the Sanguinary Guard in 1,000 points in a 3-man squad. I think I probably like that. I think the Rage-fueled Captain is probably pretty good. How many attacks does a jump guy get with a jump Captain? I actually don't run Captain with a jump pack myself. With a Thunderhammer, he gets 6 attacks. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad, especially with the bursting on the triple bursting or the sustain 3 potential. You could argue the Power Fist is better, but I guess when you're sustaining 3 devastating wounds is probably pretty useful. The Ballistus will stay on the home field objective and it can contribute fire from there. It's also resilient and it can tank shock. Yep. Mephiston is utility but contribute damage versus most things. I may also use them to guard the Terminators with Heroic Fight first. I'm not sure if I have enough utility units. The main dilemma is get rid of a Mephiston for 3 more Sanguinary Guard. Could cover the home with Intercessors. Yeah, utility units. Mephiston is the price basically of 2 squads of scouts, isn't he? Or that lone operative character and a unit of scouts. How much is the lone op lieutenant? Maybe he's a little bit more expensive. Lieutenant with combi weapon. 70. Okay. You could actually fit.
Matthew Box donated $49.99 via Super Chat. VA, thank you for all you do. Get yourself a Vortex paint mixer on me for Xmas. Dads need gifts too.
Matthew, you are very generous, sir. Thank you so much. That is super generous. 75 for the combi weapon, 65 for the scouts. That might be better here. Just because it gives you 1 whole extra unit. The scouts can pick up and drop down every turn. I think I might do that. I think I like Mephiston, but yeah, I guess I always say to play the lists before you make changes. I think that's the 3 changes you've got there. You can get rid of a Mephiston, get scouts in the combi weapon lieutenant. Yeah, they don't have Mephiston's damage, but they do have more scoring potential. And then the Impulsor in some ways gives you more scoring potential as well. Because people don't really want to waste firepower to try and kill an Impulsor. I do need a Vortex paint mixer. Matthew, thank you so much for that. I really wish Games Workshop would put their their paints in dropper bottles. That's what I actually need. That's what we need. Matthew, you need to get onto Games Workshop and get them to change their paints into dropper bottles. No, I like this. I think I would play this on 1,000 points. I think if it was me, though, I'd probably lose the Outriders. Just because I think, like, I'm moving to double Impulsor. I just think Impulsors are so good. 80 points. Mephiston is good in 1,000 points, but yeah, I mean, I guess here's the thing: if you keep you could do the same thing by losing the Ballistus Dreadnought and have the unit of scouts and have the lieutenant, but I think that it would make more sense to lose Mephiston in terms of this list. The only other play I could see is lose the Terminator squad for an Impulsor and a Captain. Put the Captain with the Assault Intercessors on foot, and then you've got another Impulsor. So I think the Impulsor is really good in 1,000 points. I think it's really good in 2,000 points. But yeah, I think it's not bad. I think I would play this 100%. All right, let's move on, because, sorry, Nick, I'm going to have to get fired into lists tonight because it took me half an hour to get started tonight. If you do enjoy tonight's stream at any point, please leave a like button. Sorry about all the delays at the start. I think everything is good. My wife is giving the kids medicine now, so hopefully we're fine. All right. Coffarini. That's how I'm gonna say Coffarini. He's got a 2,000 point list with a captain, a jump captain, or sorry, a chaplain with jump pack with speed of the Primarch. I imagine that's going to be attached to Death Company. Mephiston, Dante, Lamartus. 10 Assault Intercessors on foot, an Impulsor. Double Ballistus, 2 5-man Death Companies, the Infiltrators, 2 Outriders, the 6 Sanguinary Guard, the Vindicator. So fire support is good, right? 2 Ballistus and a Vindicator, that's good. You've got the Impulsor. I'm not actually sure what you can put in this Impulsor. I guess you could put in your Infiltrators. And Mephiston, because 10 Assault Intercessors do not fit in Impulsor. The Assault Intercessors, 10 of them attached to a captain. I mean, maybe this is a mistake. Maybe it's supposed to be 5 attached to the captain. He just didn't realise that, and he would have had 75 more points. I don't really like 5-man squads of Death Company. I have played them now. I've played the 10s, I've played the 5s. I feel like the 10s are just better. Even though 5s get more weapons per guy, right? Because you essentially get an extra power fist in the 5-man squads. I'm not really a fan. And like, I won a GT in the summer using those 5-man squads of Death Company. Multiple 5-man squads of Death Company with chaplains. I think they're a lot weaker now. The Assault Intercessor squad's also weirdly a 9-man. Oh, maybe he's supposed to have a Rhino then. I don't know what he's doing here. There's a bit of a mistake with the Assault Intercessor. Good spot, Mike. I didn't spot it because I guess nobody runs Assault Intercessors in 10s, let alone in 9s. That's weird. Yeah, so I don't think I love these Death Company. I'm going to run 1-5 maybe with a Chaplain, but in this list you've got Lamartas attached to 5. I think Lamartas is going to be much better attached to 10. I guess for me in this list, I mean, I like double Outriders. I think they're good at scoring. I like a Vindicator with 2 Ballistus. I think that's pretty good. I like Dante and the Sanguinary Guard. That's pretty good. I like the Infiltrators. I like the Impulsor. I just think I would take the Captain plus 5 Assault Intercessors, sort that out. Mephiston's fine to keep. But then I think I also don't think a Fight First is going to be meaningful enough on 5 Death Company anymore. What are you getting? Like 12 Power Fist attacks? No, 13 including the Sergeant, 5 Eviscerators, and then a bunch of Chain Swords. I just don't know if I feel it's meaningful enough anymore. It's not the worst, but the thing about this unit is it can be shot pretty easily. It's just Strength 4, Toughness 4 Marine, sorry, with a 6-up Feel No Pain. I feel like they just die. They die very, very quickly. I think the advantage to the 10-man Death Company is Death Company do die very quickly. I think the advantage to the 10-man Death Company is you've got those ablative wounds with the chainswords. So you start pulling off the chainsword guys. It doesn't feel too bad. Whereas I think the 5-man Death Company, the second you lose like 2 or 3 models, suddenly they feel very, very weak. Even I had a unit where I lost 1 model and it was already feeling like, I don't know if they have the damage anymore to kill what I need them to kill. So I think, and from what we saw in the tournament lists, because I went over a bunch of tournament lists and like worked out how well they were doing. From what I saw in all those different tournament lists, I think my opinion is Death Company are just better in 10s these days. It's not the worst idea in the world to play with 5. But I don't know if I would recommend you take them in 5. Happy Thanksgiving. Is it Thanksgiving in America? If it is, I'm sorry, I didn't know. We don't have that holiday, so I don't know. But happy Thanksgiving, Phil. Hope you're having a good one. I hope you've eaten plenty of food today. All right. Let's move on to Creation Honor. He is our 3rd list for today. 1995 points, Liberator Assault Group. He's called it Sons of Sanguinius, and then he's called Liberator Assault Group 2 lines down. Oh, it's this Thursday. Okay, cool. Well, I hope you have a great Thanksgiving on Thursday. Same to anyone in America. Hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. All right. We've got Chaplain on foot. We've got Chaplain Terminator armor with Speed of the Primarch. I actually really want to try this Chaplain Terminator armor with Speed of the Primarch. I think it's good. You got Chaplain with a jump pack, and we got Dante. Chaplain. I think Chaplains are very, very good for Blood Angels. I really like how much the +1 to wound changes things. And it also saves points on stratagems, right? Like, you don't have to use Red Rampage on a unit that's got Chaplain, and I think that's actually kind of meaningful. Because in my list, I want to use Red Rampage on Dante almost every time he fights. So I think having a Chaplain with a bunch of other squads is really meaningful, because it saves the CP, or it saves Red Rampage for Dante, right? We've got an Impulsor. We have Assault Intercessors with jump packs ×2. We've got Blade Guard ×6, so they're going to be with that Chaplain on foot. Cool. I think Blade Guard with +1 to wound from the Chaplain are pretty great. We've got 5 Death Company. I guess that's the 5 Death Company with the Chaplain with jump pack. I think that's okay. I think it's okay to have 1 squad of 5 Death Company with jump pack. They're 205 points. I'm going to have 1 in my list. I think that's okay. I just don't think there's much value in adding multiple 5-man Death Companies anymore. Like, I just think they're a lot weaker than they are. Or they were. I guess, like, they will still be able to kill some stuff. They're just not they're just not the tool that they were before, where they could kill all the stuff, right? We got the squad of Infiltrators. We got the 6 Angry Guard with Dante. We got the 10 Terminators with a single assault cannon, all power fist, single assault cannon. Super minor, you could change this. You could give these 10 Terminators 2 Cyclone missile launchers. I think that's the better option here. Assault cannons to me are very lackluster. You average about 1 devastating wound. If a model has an Eviscerator in the Death Company, yes, it can indeed still have a pistol. Go figure. A heavy bolt pistol, whoop-de-doo, -1 AP probably. And then double Vindicator tank. Good swap out the Vindicators for Lancers. I think both is good. I like Vindicators, I like Lancers. I think they're both useful. I think probably I prefer Vindicator tanks, but if you only have Vindicator tanks, you're not going to be able to do much shooting turn 1, because you kind of have to hide the Vindicator tanks. They aren't that survivable. They're toughness 11, 2 up. It's not bad, it's not great though. So you kind of have to hide them turn 1. You're unlikely to be able to do too much shooting turn 1. Whereas the Gladiators get to do a lot of shooting turn 1. So you got the 2 Vindicator tanks, you got 10 Fight First Terminators, you got Dante and 6 Angry Guard, you got Infiltrators, you got that 5 Death Company, you've got the Blade Guard inside an Impulsor, you got 2 units of Assault Intercessors with jump packs. I mean, this is a good list. Advice. I mean, I guess the advice is do not deep strike the 10 Terminators into the corner of the board. Try and get them down center board. Because Terminators are slow as crap, and I've had so many games where like I've put Terminators in the corner of the board and then they've been stuck in that corner of the game or of the table for the entire game. So I think get your Terminators. Don't ever deep strike them in a corner, even if you think that there's a good option or a good thing you want to kill in the corner. Don't put them in the corner. It's a trap. That is the trap. Especially if you're spending this many points on Terminators. I guess with the fight first, it's 440 points on Terminators. That's a massive... So the advice here is make sure that unit is coming down as soon as possible in the middle of the board. Or at least reasonably central, so it isn't stuck in a corner, or it can get bogged down in a corner or something like that and it can't be impactful. I would put 2 cyclone missile launchers into the squad because I think it's silly not to take them. I mean, that's... Cyclone missile launchers are like strength 9 AP 2 D6 damage, so like it's 24 I mean, they're never going to do 24 damage. Terminators. But they could do something. How do I feel about Hellblasters for Blood Angels? Not many people play Hellblasters, David, to be completely honest with you. Put them inside an Impulsor, maybe. Or give them a Medic, maybe. But not many people play them for Blood Angels. I've got 10 Hellblasters, and I haven't played them at all this edition. Maybe there's a play for them. I think they're more popular in Dark Angels, honestly. Did this load? God damn it. Terminator... Squad. No, okay, hold on. There's another website I know now. 39k Pro. Blood Angels. Let's do Terminators. Terminator Squad. Ranged weapons. Cyclone missile launcher. Yeah, so it could do 24 damage. And you can have 2 war gear options. For every 5 models, Cyclone missile. You get to keep your Stormbolter as well with the Cyclone missile launcher for some reason. So you basically just... Yeah, I think that's much better than, like, the Assault Cannon. The Assault Cannon is crap AP. You get 6 attacks. On 6 dice, you statistically roll 1/6. So for the most part, the Devastating Wounds is worth 1 damage. So I just think the crap missiles... I mean, the crap missiles are swingy as all hell, but they've got more potential. So that would be my suggestion. This list looks like it's going to roll up to the middle of the board with Blade Guard, with Terminators... have Dante's Sanguinary Guard in reserve and maybe one of the Vindicators in reserve and bring everything towards the middle of the board. I think I like this list. I haven't played 10 Terminators myself. That's a big footprint for a unit. But I mean, it's the only way now you can have 10 guys with Power Fists. So you get 40 attacks out of those Terminators. You can advance and charge the Terminators. I think it's a good list. I haven't played it yet. I guess I need to make a list where I'm playing just 10 Blood Angels Terminators with a Chaplain. I think that's probably the best way to play them with the speed of the Primarch Chaplain. 40k rules, man. 40k rules are complicated. You are right, Chris. 25% of the army needs to be in the middle. They only move 5 inches. Yes, Tom, 100%. I've had games where I've dropped like Terminators or Centurions or something in the edge of the board and they have killed stuff. But then like the Warhammer board is like 40 inches long. They only move 5. If you advance and get a 5, you're only moving 10 inches. So if you come down in turn 2 or 3, it'll take them to the rest of the game to get to the middle of the board. So I think the advice for me is, I don't think there's too much to change on the list. The advice is to make sure you don't put your Terminators down at the edge of the board. The other piece of advice I guess you could have is you could split that Terminator squad down to 5 and then use the 175 points for something else. You could have another 6 Blade Guard. You could also just split the Terminators in 2 and then you feel like if you do put 5 of them down at the edge of the board, it's not the worst idea in the world. Chad says get 5 Hellblasters coming from turn 3 from any edge. They can do a lot of damage with shoot on death too. Yeah, I mean they can. I just, like I said, I don't think they're often seen for Blood Angels. Maybe if you attach like the medics so you can bring the dead guys back to life, Chad, that's the best way to play them. I think it's just the regular apothecary brings a model back to life every turn, right? Volcar, good evening. Yes. Hello. Alright, let's move on to list number 4 for tonight. If you do get a second at any point tonight's stream, please consider subscribing. Please consider hitting the like button. I do appreciate it. Alright, Prime. I'm just going to call you Prime because I don't know how to say the second part of your name. So doing my first selection, went 83-52 against Tau. Terminator did serious work and tanked heaps of shooting. My only weakness might be shooting, as both Predators and Ballisters underperformed and didn't do much. What type of Predator did you have? Oh, an Annihilator. I'm more of a fan of the Destructor, but you know, sometimes I've played the Ballistus and the Predator enough to have games where they perform amazingly and have games where they perform badly. I guess all units do, right? Like I've had my Predators and the Ballistus kill like a toughness 12, 20 wound battle wagon on turn 1 at like 50 inches away. So they can perform. There's a lot of variance in 40k. I guess that's just something that happens. Alright, 2,000 point Liberator Assault Group. Astrath, Rageful Captain, Speed of the Primarch Chaplain, Gift of Foresight Chaplain, Mephiston. Yeah, we see a lot of people do chaplains. Chaplains are just very good for the +1 to wound for Blood Angels, I guess. That combined with +2 strength is very strong. So we have Assault Intercessor Squad and the Impulsor, so that's going to be what the Chaplain is doing. Sorry, the Captain, the Rage-Fueled Captain. We then have a Chaplain with Speed of the Primarch, so we're going to have 6 Blade Guard in the other Impulsor. So we've got double Impulsor. Oh, no, hold on. I think the Rage-Fueled Captain is probably going to be with Company Heroes, actually, because he has to be. I like that as well. I like Company Heroes. I am bringing them back into my list for this week's game against Thousand Suns. And then the Fight First Chaplain, I guess, is with Assault Intercessors on foot. I don't know if I feel like that's impactful enough. You are only strength 4 when you get charged. You could put Mephiston into either of those Impulsors with you as well. You got 2 Jump Pack Intercessors. You got a Ballistus, a Brutalis. We don't often see too many Brutalises. You got the 10 Death Company. They'll be with Astrath. I think that's good. Am I bringing a second Impulsor? Mike, have you sent me my second Impulsor? I'm bringing one on. I'm bringing it on Wednesday. If you haven't sent me one of my friends is going to lend me a Black Templar's Impulsor. Infiltrator Squad for 1,000 points. The Annihilator, the Scouts, the Terminator Squad. So I think here's the thing, like an Annihilator plus a Ballistus Dreadnought is 260 points. It is the... How do Company Heroes play? The Company Heroes are 4 guys. Each has got a 3-up save with 4 wounds. They are permanently -1 to wound, but they need to be led by a captain. That's their big thing. They're -1 to wound all the time. And then they're 4 wounds per model. So for like 95 points, they are ridiculously tanky, but they have to be led by a captain. But the thing is, if you attach the Rage Captain, for example, then you're getting a free stratagem on them as well. So pretty much any time the enemy shoots your Company Heroes, you play Armor of Contempt for free, then you're -1 to wound for free, and then you're 4 wounds per model, which is actually kind of really meaningful because a lot of people kill Marines with 2 or 3 damage weapons. Well, those weapons are not that effective against 4 wound models. And then they actually have some interesting shooting as well, right? You've got and the Company Champion, he gets like 7 attacks in the Blood Angels detachment, if I remember correctly. And he has precision. He's got like a strength 5 precision 2 damage power sword. So if you charge anything and you play precision on that captain, you can pretty much kill any character out of a squad as well. Because you've got like, when you use Finest Hour with the captain, you've got 9 attacks with potential precision for free, because you get it for free, remember, because you can use the stratagem for free. And then you got like 7 more attacks with precision. And it's all AP2 and it's all 2 damage, and some of it's got dev wounds. So it's actually really interesting. Like you can snipe out just about any character with that unit of Company Heroes. Yeah, I don't think I love Assault Intercessors with Fight First, though. I just don't think it's meaningful enough. Strength 4 Chainswords. I think Assault Intercessors become good when they charge and become Strength 6. I think at Strength 4 they're like, meh. The Death Company with Astrath is good. The Infiltrators is good. An Annihilator and Ballistus, I was saying that is the cheapest way you can bring some fire support. 260 points. I don't hate it. It's cheap. It's essentially 5 las cannons and a couple of crack missiles for 260 points. I mean, that's not too bad. But yeah, I mean, I guess you're going to have to play multiple games to see that do well. You get the unit of Scouts, which is good. You get the unit of Terminators. I think in this list, I actually do just swap. I would give the Terminator Chaplain the speed of the Primarch. He's the one that needs the speed of the Primarch. And I guess you save 15 points because you don't need Gift of Foresight. Maybe you can tweak another unit up 15 points or something. Is there something we could tweak? Not really. I think the change in this list is make sure that the Terminator Chaplain is just much better with Speed of the Primarch than the other one. Everything else is fine. You've got a good number of scoring units, all those Assault Intercessors, Jump Packs, or Double Impulsor. You got the Infiltrators, you've got some fire support. There could be an argument here, I guess, to switch this Brutalis Dreadnought for more fire support. You know, with Double Impulsor, with 10 Death Company. With the Terminators, you might already have enough melee. So, yeah, I mean, I think if this was me, I'd probably think about swapping that for, like, it could be a Gladiator Lancer. We just talked about saving 15 points. Well, 15 points would be enough to make it into a Vindicator tank as well. So I think maybe there's a small tweak here that could round out the list a little bit better. If you feel the Predator and the Ballistus alone are underperforming, then adding a unit to give them like that third fire support unit could actually be quite meaningful. To just make your fire support kind of scary. Everything else looks pretty good except that one enhancement. So that's my suggestions. I would change that Prime. Thanks so much for the submission. If anyone's watching and has never submitted a list, the way this works is after the stream ends, you can put your list just in the format you see here in the text. Put it into the video description. No, not the video description, sorry, the video comments. On this video or any other YouTube video that I make, and just ask for it to be on the Army List show, and we'll get you on here and we'll get you reviewed. I think that's it. If let's move on. Yeah, I'm going to run the company heroes this week. So I'm going to drop 5 Death Company and a Chaplain and unit of Outriders, I think. So I'm going to replace Outriders 1-for-1 with an Impulsor. And then I'm going to lose the Death Company plus Chaplain. I'm going to add that Rage Captain plus the company heroes. And then I've got some points left over. Radu, thanks so much for subscribing. I think I would have something like 40 points, 30 points left over. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with my last 30 points. I was thinking of changing, because I was running 2 Ballistus and a Predator tank. I was thinking of changing one of those into a Gladiator Lancer. So maybe I'll run like 1 Ballistus, 1 Predator tank, 1 Gladiator Lancer. And the reason that I'm thinking maybe to have 1 Gladiator Lancer in my list is like I played against Death Guard this week who had a Land Raider. And I feel like 2 Ballistus Dreadnoughts and a Predator Destructor are not going to be enough firepower to drop a Land Raider. I'm trying to think actually, like, so I basically have 6 las cannons. So if I put Oath of Moment on, I end up with like 5 hits. And then I only wound 4 times. No, I only wound 2.5 times, and he saves 1 or 2 of them. So like I'm only going to end up doing like D6 damage to a Land Raider. So it's going to take 2 Ballistus and the Predator probably 2 or 3 turns to kill a Land Raider. So I just decided to ignore the Land Raider. And then for the entire game, I'm just dealing with las cannons from that damn Land Raider. So I think if I swapped out a Lancer, then I am going to shoot the Land Raider with a Lancer. And with a little bit of luck, I have seen Lancers kill a Land Raider from full health in 1 turn. They can do it. So I just think with the Lancer damage coming out, then maybe the Ballistus and the Predator don't feel so, like, Lancer, a Ballistus, and a Predator all shooting into a Land Raider. They might not kill it in one turn, but they might bracket it, and that might be quite meaningful. Is there any point to bringing another character to the company heroes with a captain? People have always asked me that. They've said, like, should we add the lieutenant to the company heroes for fallback and charge and lethal hits? I think the lieutenant is the only other guy you can add to the company heroes. Let me double check real quick. But I think the problem with adding the lieutenant is you want the devastating wounds from the character, and if you add the lieutenant, then you potentially miss out on those devastating wounds. So I don't think so. I think the company heroes led by the captain are just fine. I think that's good. I get, like, the lieutenant might have been better when Blood Angels didn't have the fallback and shoot or charge, fallback and charge, but we have that now. We have that as a stratagem. And again, you could use that stratagem for free because the captain is there letting you use stratagems for less. Why does everybody go for Power Fists? Because they're reliable. Thunderhammer's main, you are -1 to hit, typically. And -1 to hit. If you think about the order of your rolls, Chris, you roll to hit first. So if you fail a bunch of hits, you don't do anything. So the Power Fist is seen as more reliable because it's more likely to hit. So it doesn't matter that Thunderhammer potentially has, like, devastating wounds. What matters is if you don't hit, you don't do any devastating wounds. So it's just the ordering. So most people, last edition, people preferred Thunderhammers. This edition, it's Power Fists, 100%. So yeah, I don't know. People have said to me, you could add the lieutenant. He does come with a Power Fist. He can have, like, 5 more attacks at strength 10 with those company heroes. I just think I think you want to keep him with just the captain, and I think you do want to keep them cheap as well. There's something to be said about keeping units cheap. More unit, like the strength of Blood Angels at the moment is lots of little units, I feel like. The tournament that I won in June, the GT, my list was just crap loads of little units. I had one big unit in that entire list, everything else was small. And I felt like that list did me really well, just because I had units everywhere, scoring points everywhere, behind enemy lines, and engaging all fronts, all that good stuff, all over the place. Bingo, Mike, thanks so much for sending it. I'll be very excited to see the Impulsor. I'll maybe do an unboxing video, if you're alright with that. I've still got one of your stickers from last time, so I could stick it on the box or something. Alright, Tom, we're going to look at your list next. The breakdown. Astrath with 10 Death Company, Dante with the Sanguinius Guard, the Blood Angels Captain with the Ancient, and 5 Assault Intercessors in the Impulsor. What Ancient? What are you on about? Chaplain with the Blade Guard in the Impulsor, Assault Intercessor with Jump Packs, 2 Outriders, 2 Impulsors, Infiltrators, 2 Destructors. I only put the Ancient in because of spare points. I know where else to... Oh, right. I had nowhere else to spend them in the list. Looking forward to seeing your thoughts and criticism. I don't think you can attach an Ancient. What Ancient are you on about, Tom? I think... Alright, you've attached an Ancient to Assault Intercessors. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so you can attach an Ancient. What's he got? He's got a Power Sword, potentially. Yeah, you're not going to take a Bolt Rifle on him. So you've got a Power Sword. While this model is within range of objective marker and within 6 inches of the centre of the battlefield, this model has a 4-up, feel no pain. Okay, so while he's a sitting duck in the middle of the map, he has a 4-up invulnerable. How can you make Blade Guard work in a Blood Angels list? Add a Chaplain to them, give the Chaplain the Fight First enhancement, put them in Impulsor. Then at that point, they honestly become absolute top tier unit. Possibly one of the best units that Blood Angels have right now, Mal. How many points is this Ancient? Remind me. 50. Alright, I guess for 50 points, 1 OC on the Assault Intercessors isn't the worst. I don't think it's great, but I guess 3 OC Assault Intercessors is something. Alright, how many points have we spent then? What was this? Was this exactly 2,000 points? I could add it up. 105, 130, 50, 90, 85, 75, 90, 180, 240, 100, 270, 160, 260, 140. No, we've got a couple of points left. Is that right? How does the Judasaur is a good option as well. I just prefer the Chaplain, I think, because the +1 to wound is really good. Alright, Astrath plus 10 Death Company is good. Dante plus the Sangre Guard is good. The Captain with Ragefield Warrior plus 5 Assault Intercessors is very good. The Chaplain with the Blade Guard. I mean, he's Fight First Chaplain as well. That's really good. Assault Intercessors with the jump packs, we've got 1. The 10 Death Company with Astaroth, yep. The Infiltrators within the home field, the double unit of Outriders, the double Impulsor, the double Predator Destructor. I mean, there's not a lot you can change here, right? I think it's good. I guess the one you have... I really do love Predator Destructors, and I did have 2 of them in my tournament winning list, and I do think they're decent. I feel like they just do chip damage at 48 inches all the time. Halo Head, hey Commander, I commented a list this week, but I'm not sure if I did it right. Keep up the great work. I'm sure you probably did, Halo Head. I can double check. There's a little bit of a backlog. I will probably be able to get you next week. Let me double check. I think I can search comments by name? Maybe? No, I am not seeing it. What is your YouTube name is Halo Head? Can you DM me it, dude? I didn't see it. If you come onto our Discord, !Discord if you're not in Discord yet. I don't see it in my recent comments, so for some reason I don't have it. But yeah, come on to join the Discord, DM it to me. We'll get you on next week. Yeah, so Double Predator, thank you so much for the 5. I do really appreciate it. Double Predator Destructor is decent, but I guess Double Predator Destructor, maybe 6 months ago, I might not have liked it and felt like it wasn't strong enough. But I think 6 months ago, we didn't have quite the same strength coming out of like the Impulsor. Because I think the 2 Impulsors, because my list before, right, had 1 Impulsor. So like this is a flip on my tournament. Like I was gonna say, compared to my tournament list, this is actually crazy scary because my tournament list had 10 Death Company, it had 5 Infiltrators, it had the big squad of Sangre Guard, it had 2 Outriders, it had 2 Destructors, it had the Captain, the Rage. So I think the flip here is like you've given up the 3rd unit of fire support to take those two super cheap Predator Destructors, but you got 2 really nasty Impulsor bombs or Impulsor nukes, whatever you want to call it. The units coming out of the Impulsors are hitting hard as crap. They're generally very difficult to deal with, and people need to deal with the Impulsors, and making people deal with Impulsors potentially takes the fire off those Destructors, so those Destructors can just sit 48 inches away and shoot for the entire game. So I think I like this list a lot, Tom. I honestly think the Ancient is quirky at best, though. Like, I just wouldn't run an Ancient with the Assault Intercessors with the jump packs. A unit of Scouts would be better for me. It gives you 1 more unit that scores points. Points win or lose the game, you know? I don't think an Ancient giving Assault... Here's the thing. A Captain plus the Assault Intercessors, they have 1 job. They come out with the Impulsor, they charge something, and they die. And having an Ancient with them doesn't change that at all. They still charge something, and they still die. And you could just take those points and put them somewhere else. Hell, even a Tech Marine. Someone said in the chat, a Tech Marine. Even a Tech Marine I think I prefer more than the Ancient, because you could keep one of those Predator Destructors more healthy and have it hitting on a 2 the entire game. So yeah, I think the Ancient is quirky at best, but the rest of the list is pretty good, Tom. I had some Blade Guard led by a Chaplain, absolutely humiliated some Custodian Guard recently, and it was lovely. There you go. Yeah, Blade Guard are good led by a Chaplain. I think they're good led by a Judasar, but I think they're better led by a Chaplain. Jeffrey is watching this while he's getting family photos done. Okay, Jeffrey. Don't get in trouble. Jack, hey Commander, are we running Death Company Assault Intercessors? You mean Death Company on foot? I don't think any of the Death Company units except the unit on Jump Pack are good. All the rest are trash. Yeah, I mean, even the Death Company Dreadnought isn't great. I'd take a ballista. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think many people are running Death Company except the Jump Pack Squad, and I do think if you want to run the 10-man Jump Pack Squad... Sorry, if you do want to run the Jump Pack Squad, I think it's best to run them in 10. Can Assault Terminators work for Blood Angels? Assault Terminators are in an awkward position because their Thunderhammers are... So, who was asking about Thunderhammers earlier? So, if you play against Death Guard, they have two ways. They have a debuff that makes you -1 to hit, and then they have a debuff that can reduce your weapon skill by 1 as well. Those two things stack, which potentially make you -2 to hit. So if you are running those Assault Terminators and you play against Death Guard, those Assault Terminators can only hit on 6s. I mean, that is tragic. There's a 180-point unit that can only hit on 6s, and Assault Terminators don't even get that many attacks. I think Assault Terminators are just generally really bad compared to regular Terminators, and I just do not recommend you take them at all. Which is sad because I don't have any regular Terminators painted, but I have a shitload of Assault Terminators painted. Go figure. Because Assault Terminators were always the ones that had the Blood Angel icon... Icon? Can't speak. Iconography, and everybody thought they looked super cool, right? Espania said he used 10 Death Company with Astrath. Absolute waste of points. I've had mixed results with the 10 Death Company with Astrath. If you roll hot on the Devastating Wounds, he's pretty good. If you roll bad on the Devastating Wounds, he can be very, very poor. Because if you're fighting a vehicle now, due to the lack of +1 to wound, those Death Company are really only wounding on 5s. So it's like, it really all comes down to the Devastating Wounds, right? Matthew says the Space Hulk Blood Angels Terminators were badass as well. Yeah, I never actually got that box of Space Hulk, Matthew. I was always hoping they maybe do a re-release. I still have Space Crusade. Do I get points for that? That's an old one, right? Alright, let's look at Malek's list. I did not play Blood Angels for 9th. And even then I originally played, I'm a guard player. But I love Blood Angels, I want to get back into them now. And I'm going to play a 15,000 point tournament in a month. And I've built this... Oh, I think he means 1.5k. Holy shit, I was like, if you have sent me a 15k point list and asked for feedback, I'm going to be like, what the fuck feedback? 15k? Okay, I think it's 1.5k. Scared the crap out. I'm not even gonna try and review a 15k point. That's just 3 of every unit, right? 3 Assault Intercessors, 3 Incursors, 3 Eliminators, 3 Dreadnoughts. I'm not sure how good it is. I only have the Rhino. That's why I did not get an Impulsors in. Alright, I thought you only had I only have a Rhino. I get you. Okay. Dante Lamartez, the Rage Captain, the Chaplain with Jump Pack, the Judasar, the Sanguinius Priest. You're maybe a little bit high on characters here for 1,500 points. I've been trying to keep my 2,000 point Blood Angels list to like 400 points, maybe even less. Yeah, I'm thinking I've got Dante, 2 Chaplains, that was 280, and then I've got the... So mine's like 360. So this might be a little bit... It might be a little bit pointy in terms of... For 1,500 points, that does seem like a lot of points with characters. We got Assault Intercessor Squad. they'll probably be with the Rage Captain. We've got heavy intercessors and we've got infiltrators. Sorry, intercessors. We've got Blade Guard, we've got 10 Death Company with jump packs, they'll be with Lamartes, we've got the 6 Sangre Guard, and then we've got the Rhino. Yeah, I mean, the Rhino, I guess, isn't the biggest problem, probably. Blade Guard with Judasar. The Chaplain with Jump Pack. Who does the Chaplain with Jump Pack even attach to? He can't... There's no one for him to attach to, is there? Because Lamartis attaches to the 10 Death Company. Yeah, I mean, there's no one for this Chaplain to attach to. And then the Sangre Priest, I guess, attaches to the Captain with the Assault Intercessors on foot. When's your tournament? In a month. Okay. I mean, Lamartis plus 10, Dante plus 6. This is solid, right? Judasar with the Blade Guard is probably okay. The Rage Captain with Assault Intercessors, again, is pretty good. I think your problem... I assume your Intercessors sit on your home field objective, sticky it, and then you ride them around in the Rhino. I think what's problematic, maybe, with your list is this Chaplain's got no one to attach to. The Sanguinary Priest, I don't think gets enough value out of attaching to just 5 Assault Intercessors. I'm not even convinced he gets enough value out of attaching to 10. And... yeah, I mean, to start with, like, at 90 points, the fact that you've got Blade Guard here, and you've got them attached with the Judasar, I'd honestly say, like, just get rid of the Priest, add this Blade Guard into 6. Oh, they can't even go inside the Rhino because they're firstborn. Good point. So not you actually have. So this is actually illegal list because you can't actually put. You can't actually put any of your units here inside the Rhino. So your Rhino gets destroyed at the start of the game because you've got nothing that can go inside it. That it's a stupid. It's a stupid Primaris restriction. I mean, it's not a stupid rule that the transport gets destroyed if there's nothing to go inside it, because it stops people spamming transports. But Rhinos have like a stupid rule on them where it's like the model's required to have like the Tacticus keyword, or is, let's see what it says again. This model can transport 12 Adeptus Astartes infantry. It cannot transport Jump Pack, Woven, Phobos, Gravas, Terminators, or that's it, or Tacticus models, right? And all your Primaris models have the Tacticus keyword. Intercessors are Tacticus. Heavy Intercessors can't go Rhinos anyway. Assault Intercessors are Tacticus. So this needs to change. So you kind of need to buy the Impulsors. Here's the, like, I just got my 3rd Impulsor. They're that good, man. Just if you can afford the $50, you will not regret buying an Impulsor. I mean, you wouldn't even regret buying 2 of them. You can buy a Gladiator Lancer, and you cannot glue the top, and you could pull the top off, and you have an Impulsor underneath. So you kind of, if you were thinking in the future you might want to buy a Gladiator, you could buy the Gladiator tank. You can also magnetize the weapons of the Gladiator tank. So basically, you get about 3 variants of the Gladiator, or at least a couple. And you get an Impulsor as well for the 1 cost. That's probably what I would do. Get yourself a Gladiator. Gives you that Impulsor. I would just drop the Priest. I think the only way you play this Priest is if you got 10 Assault Intercessors. If you're playing 5, you do not want the Priest. I'd make those Blade Guards bigger. If you're dropping the Chaplain as well, then we're talking about we've got 75 more points. What could we do with 75 more points? Well, we need to use 5 of them. To upgrade that Rhino to Impulsor. So then you're on like 80 points left. What do you do with 80 points? Well, maybe you do like a unit of Outriders or a unit of Scouts. because you've got killy units here, right? Blade Guard are super killy, Death Company are super killy, Sanguinary Guard are super killy, but you want more. You want units that can score points. So Outriders are good for scoring points. They're fast. They move 18 inches. Scouts are good for scoring points because you can pick them up and put them down every turn and score points that way. I think that scoring options is probably the thing that you are missing in your list, right? Because Assault Intercessors are kind of a combat unit. Your Intercessors are going to be stuck on your home field, potentially moving around a little bit. The Heavy Intercessors are one unit that's going to be scoring, but I think you need one more. At least one more. For 2,000 points, I recommend between 4 or 6 scoring units. My list at the moment has 5, and do you know what? I think I need to update that and say that you need 5 or 6, because I've been struggling a little bit. Like my tournament list when I won the tournament had 6 scoring units, and that felt pretty good. Since I won the tournament, I changed my list. Obviously, the new codex came out, Blood Angels points all got rejigged, and I've been playing 5 units that score. In my list, my scoring units are 2 units of Jump Assault Intercessors, 2 units of Outriders, and an Impulsor. And I feel like 5 is just it's just not enough. I lost the game by 1 point this week. If I'd had one more scoring unit, I'd probably win that game, right? So it's like, I think I want to update what I was saying is like, you need 4 to 6 scoring units and 2,000 points. No, I think you need 5 or 6, because I'm struggling to make it work on 5. So in this list you have like 2. So that Jump Pack Chaplain is either a unit of Scouts or a unit of Outriders. I hope you can figure that out, Malik. So I think you need to buy an Impulsor, you need some Scouts, you need some Outriders. And I think you need 3 more Blade Guard. I think you've got the killing part down, but I think you need scoring options, right? You're welcome, Prime. No problem. Thanks for dropping into the stream. It's nice to see you. What options do you run on your Impulsors? The shields, because I need them to survive. I want the units inside to be untargetable. I run shield domes on both of them, or I will be. I only got my second Impulsor tomorrow apparently, because Mike has sent it to me. Mike's been commissioning it for me, so I'm going to be running my second one for the first time this week, and I'm going to be running shield domes on both of them. You need them to basically be a situation where your opponent doesn't want to waste firepower against them, and I think that's where the strength comes from. Because when they have that 5-up invulnerable save, then they have to waste more firepower against them than they necessarily want to, and that's what makes them super strong. Okay, we've got 91 people in the chat tonight, and we've got 42 likes on the stream. So the 50 of you that haven't pressed the like button yet, do it for me. Please, 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 please. I do appreciate it. We're looking at Reef Eco next. He has... this is his first whack at a Blood Angels list. So... 2,000 point Liberator Assault Group. Let's read the list and we'll come back to what he said. The Captain with Rage, the Chaplain with Speed of the Primarch, Dante, and Double Tech Marine. Okay, we don't see too many people do Double Tech Marine or even Single Tech Marines at the moment. Ragnaros said he ran 2 Jump Pack Intercessors, 2 Scouts, and 1 Outrider in my last tournament and did really well. Yeah, so 5. So 5 units. That's what I'm saying. You need 5 different units and 2,000 points that are basically scoring models, or units that are primarily in your list to do secondaries, right? Sure, they can sit on objectives. Sure, they can do a bit of killing. But if push comes to shove, they are your cheap units that will do actions, right? And like I said, I've got 5 in my list at the moment, and I feel like I was doing better when I had 6. But with the new points costs and the weapon changes and stuff, I'm struggling to fit the 6th one. Alright. We're going to use Assault Intercessors, and we've got Double Impulsor. So many people are going with the Double Impulsor. And here you go, Shield Domes, that's what you want. Assault Intercessor with Jump Packs ×2. We've got Blade Guard, so Blade Guard plus the Fight First Chaplain inside 1 Impulsor. Assume it's going to be the Captain plus the Assault Intercessors on foot in the other Impulsor. Cool. Infiltrators to the backfield. The 6 Sanguinary Guard. Sorry, we did have Dante. Cool. So Dante plus the 6 Sanguinary Guard. The Terminator Squad. Double Vindicator. So I guess each Vindicator has its own Tech Marine. That seems a little quirky, I must admit. And then a Calidus Assassin. The Calidus Assassin does get picked in tournament lists like all the time. I've stopped picking it, I must admit. I haven't picked it since they changed its ability to increase the cost of the CP. But it does get picked in tournaments all the time. Double Tech Marine with 2 Vindicators. So it's pretty obvious what you're going to do. You're just going to have the Tech Marines. Each Tech Marine is going to babysit the Vindicators. They're just going to make them +1 to hit all the time and just going to repair them all the time. I mean, maybe if there's an Impulsor close or something like that, they can repair them as well. So for scoring, I guess we've got 2 Jump Intercessors. We've got 2 Impulsors. The Calidus Assassin is probably a scoring unit as well. 2 Vindicator tanks. You know, I'd kind of gone off 2 Vindicator tanks personally, but when we were looking at like all the tournament lists a couple of weeks ago, someone did really, really well in a tournament with double Vindicator tank. Oh, and the Tech Marines will do actions while they babysit the Vindicators. That's a good point. So, can the Tech Marine can repair a tank and then do an action? I never even thought about that. Okay, good point. Good point. Yeah, so maybe the second your tanks get targeted, you smoke screen them, you Armor of Contempt them, you try desperately to keep them alive so you can repair them. You can return with the Strength 14 firepower. Yeah, maybe I need to put a Vindicator into my list this week. I think I just maybe have the points with the changes that I'm making. I did really like running Vindicators when I was playing Gladius, and they just do a lot of killing, especially when you spike like a 6 on the number of shots, and then it's Blast, and then all of a sudden you've got 10 Strength 14 hits. It's very good. I remember Vindicator tanks when Oath of Moment was reroll hits and wounds. It was nice. It was good times, wasn't it? So each Vindicator gets a Tech Marine. Once the Vindicators die, once they die, the Tech Marine get buffed to 8 attacks. They've got a Forge Bolter. Apparently they got more damage output than a squad of Assault Intercessors for 55 points. Yeah, I mean, I guess each Tech Marine is going to be in range of the vehicles when they die. You got the Captains and the Impulsors, you got the Blade Guard and the Impulsor, you got the Dangery with the Sangri Guard in Deep Strike, you got the Terminators in Deep Strike. This is good shit, man. I like it, actually. You got the Cyclone Missile Launcher, you got the Power Fist. You know what? Someone said to me, like, this week, or maybe it was last week on the Army show, he's been putting 2 Chain Fists into his Terminator squad just for when you end up charging into Knights or something. You know, like, when you charge into Knights with those Terminators, the Power Fists only wound on 5. Power Fist is the preferred weapon, but having a couple of Chain Fists in there just to get some of that sweet anti-vehicle 3-up is not the worst thing in the world, I feel like. So it's fine having all Power Fists. If you'd asked me a few weeks ago, I'd have probably said, yeah, 5 Power Fists is the best way to play the Terminator squad. Would I be willing to put a couple of Chain Fists in there? Yes. Because sometimes I do end up fighting against Knights or something and you are wounding on 5s on the Power Fists and it does kind of suck. So, when disembarking with Blade Guard, can you go too deep? Or is it just too big? Sometimes you can go too deep if you come off that little, you know, like the Impulsor has like a little, it's like a railing around it, mainly at the front, I believe. So you can definitely get too deep at the front with the railing, because you can kind of push the bases underneath the Impulsor a little bit. I think it's totally valid. Yeah, no, this is a decent list. I don't know if I have any suggestions on it. 2,000 points on the nose, so nothing small to tweak. Yeah, I think it could probably do pretty well. I think if it was me, I might lose the Calidus Assassin, but I mean, I guess if she's just going to be lone operative and you're going to use her for scoring, then you have lots of ways of scoring in this list. Essentially, you've got 7 scoring units, you still have good damage, you still have those melee threats. No, I like it. I don't have anything really negative to say on it. I guess the only thing to say on it is, like, you might struggle a little bit in turn. Like, that's the thing I think what happens when you've got 2 Vindicator tanks is sometimes you struggle to get much shooting on turn 1, right? Because you kind of have to hide the Vindicator tanks because you don't want to get them blown up if the enemy goes first. And then I know they've got like a 10, I think it's a 9-inch move. So they've got a 9-inch move. Imagine you're going to use like 4 inches to get around the piece of terrain you've hidden in. So then you've got only your 24 inches plus 5. So you only really have 29-inch threat range on those Vindicators turn 1. And I think that's the one negative thing about it. But everything else seems good. 2 Impulsors versus 1 Repulsor. I think 2 Impulsors is better. I've played the Repulsor 4 times. At the 180 points that it is in Liberator Assault Group. I understand Dante and 6 Angry Guard fit inside of the Repulsor as well. But the Repulsor's a fucking bullet magnet, dude, and it's not that survivable. People don't want to shoot Impulsors because the Impulsor has an invulnerable save and it's super cheap. People do not like to shoot it. And I think that's one of the reasons that makes it so strong, is it just sits around and it sits on objectives and it tank shocks with 9 dice still, and it's just good. The best placing Blood Angels player at WCW this weekend did double Vindicator. Yeah, well, I think it's good, man. I just think that it's tricky to play turn 1, right? That's my thing with it. Because I played double Vindicator in Gladius, and I think in Gladius it's really good, because turn 1 in Gladius you just went Devastator Doctrine, my whole army can advance and shoot. I'm going to advance both the Vindicators with a tiny little bit of a good roll on the advance. Suddenly your Vindicators have pretty good threat. But yeah, did he reserve the Vindicators and then bring them in? Maybe that's the way you play the double Vindicator. You reserve both of them, you bring them both in, where they can both hit your at the moment target, and you just start letting fire from turn 2. Do you really need them to be on the table in turn 1? Probably not. I'd be interested to see, actually, if anyone's got like a battle report from that WCW list that apparently did really well with double Vindicators. Could you put it over on our Discord or link it to me? I would appreciate it. All right, we're going to look at Marius Berger. This is list number 8 for tonight. So, sometimes I don't read when people say thanks for reviewing and the amazing content and stuff like that. Dude, anyone that says this, like, you guys give me so many positive messages. Thank you so much for all the positive messages. Be it not just Marius, other people have positive messages every day of the week. So thank you for all the positive messages. I do still get hate messages. I try and brush them off, but sometimes they do bother me. So I when you get a couple of hateful messages, it's always nice to get some positive messages. Just kind of helps get rid of the negativity. Jordan says, talking about tanks, thoughts on double Baal Predators? Do they have a place, or are there just better options? Seems like they do well supporting Outriders. So a lot of people have done well with double Baal Predators, Jordan. They were a few points cheaper before. I honestly don't think, like, if a unit goes up 10 points and it was good before, and arguably the Baal Predator got better, right?
Jordan K donated $10 via Super Chat. Talking about tanks, thoughts on double Baal Predators? Do they have a place, or are there just better options? Seems like they do well supporting Outriders.
Super chats, thank you.
Reef Eco donated $10 via Super Chat. Thanks for the advice, John. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome, Reef. Jordan, yeah, so the Baal Predator got better in that all its weapons bar the Hunter-Killer Missile now, I believe, or Assault. Maybe the Stormbolt or something isn't Assault, but it did get better. And I think if a unit is competitive and decent and they put it up 10 points, it doesn't really change too much. And I think because they made all its guns Assault now, and it's easier, it can shoot more options, because it used to only be able to shoot infantry. I think Baal Predators are probably viable. And I actually made a video maybe like 6 months ago where, you know what, maybe I just need to link you that video, because it's probably going to be better than me trying to remember what I said. But there was this whole video, right? Like 6 months ago or 5 months ago, this was the Blood Angels meta. The double Baal Predator and the double Impulsor. Here we go. Like, let me send you that. I'll put it in the chat so you can just click through and watch that video. But I don't think anything changed. If anything, the Impulsors got stronger. If anything, the Ball Predator probably got a little bit stronger because it can now advance and shoot all the targets that it couldn't shoot before. They are a little bit swingy, and they are very good at killing infantry. But the thing is, I don't usually have that many problems with infantry, right? Usually my problems are big, nasty tanks or big, nasty monsters with toughness 10 or above. The Ball Predator doesn't really help me against enemies with toughness 10 or above. And I feel like you can include Ball Predators, but I guess you've got to try and build your list around them, Jordan. And then Death Company don't do nearly as well as dealing with those toughness 10 things as they did before because of the removal of all the power fists. Sangre Guard probably don't do nearly as well as dealing with those things as well, and Vanguard Veterans aren't an option now. So because of those changes, the Ball Predator has had less love or less stock, if that makes sense. But I mean, watch that video. There was a period like just before the Codex dropped where like the meta, all the tournament winning lists were double Ball Predator, double Impulsor, and that was the meta. Like Blood Angels players were doing it 100% of the time. All right, so we've got, and Reef, thanks again for the 10 for this. I would have reviewed your list for free, but I do appreciate the $10 US. Thank you very much. All right, we've got Commander Dante. We got the captain. Sorry, so Dante's leading 6. The captain with Speed of Prior Mark is leading 3. Lamartus is leading 10. The chaplain is leading 5. And then you've got the 2 Sangre Guard and the 2 Death Company. Like I said earlier in the stream, I don't know if I think the Death Company with 5 are all that exciting anymore. They're decent, but they're not amazing. We've got 2 units of Jump Intercessors. We've got a unit of Outriders. We've got double Ballistus Dreadnought plus a Lancer. I kind of like that. That's kind of where I was thinking that I need to end up, is like, if you're going to run double Ballistus, because some people maybe do 3 Ballistus Dreadnoughts. I'm not sure I like that. But double Ballistus plus a Lancer, I think I do sort of like, and then Infiltrators. All right, so we've got the Infiltrators for the backfield. We've got a Lancer plus 2 Ballistus as the fire support. For scoring units, we've got the Outriders, the Assault with jump packs ×2, and then everything else is killing. So yeah, I guess this is maybe where I would land on this list is right. We've got 4 killing units. Dante with Dante with 6, a Captain with 3, Lamartus with 10, a Chaplain with 5. I think based on my feedback here, Jordan, thank you so much for becoming a member. Dude, please come over to our Discord. We have a members only Discord room, so find your way over there, get into the members only room. Thank you very much for becoming a member. So I think in this list, based on the fact that there's just 3 scoring units, and based on the fact that I've said the 5 Death Company with the Chaplain are probably the least impactful of these choices, then I think probably what you have to do is take the 205 points that we have here and get something else that scores into this list. There's a lot you could do with 205, right? You could do like 2 squads of scouts is like 130. Is this an exact 2,000 point list? So maybe you could actually just do 3 squads of scouts. That wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. 205 agonizingly just doesn't quite fit. I was going to say like an Impulsor plus some of the stuff inside it. Yeah, I mean, Marius, it's not... having 2 squads of Sangre Guard, a big squad and a small squad, 2 squads of Death Company, a big squad and a small squad, and then a few units that can score points and a bit of fire support and a bit of infiltrators definitely makes me feel like this list is on the right path to being a solid list. Like I said, I've just been really struggling. Like, my list has 5 units that score points, and I have been struggling to feel like I have enough units to do secondaries with 5. And I think that with only 3, you may struggle there. I before the stream, I was saying 4 to 6. But I've been really struggling with 5, so I really wonder if 4 to 6 is the right numbers. You already have scouts on the way. Then there you go. I would I would be tempted to replace. I would be tempted to replace just that 5-man death company with 2 units of scouts. Or, you know, I like impulsors. And the cool thing about the impulsor is if you take the impulsor and you put something inside it, when the thing comes out of it, then you are still able to score points with the impulsor. And when the impulsor is empty, again, your opponent doesn't want to shoot an empty impulsor. It does nothing. It's got like 2 storm bolters and a stubber on it. But it will be a toughness 9 thing with 11 wounds and an invuln save that just scores points turn after turn after turn if it's ignored. So, like, the trick here is 205 points with this unit of Death Company is just not quite enough points to have something super meaningful inside the impulsor. Yeah, well, it's 215 points you've got because you've got rage on that captain. An impulsor plus 5 assault intercessors is 155. So you'd have 60 points left. Is there anything that can attach to assault intercessors for 60 points? I feel like a chaplain's 60? I mean, maybe that's your option. But just, you know, a chaplain on foot with 5 assault intercessors on foot is actually not, inside an impulsor, is not going to be dramatically different to that death company anyway, I feel like. Do you think instead of double Lancer, take 1 Lancer and 1 Vindicator would be any good? Yeah, I think that's totally viable. If anything, the thing that surprised me about the tournament lists is not that many people had taken Lancers. There was way more Blood Angels players playing Vindicators than there was people playing Lancers. You could give them a lieutenant for lethal hits and fall back and charge. Robin says, thanks for the suggestion. That's actually not the worst suggestion, because lethal hits on all those chainswords is probably not too bad. Fall back and charge is probably something you're going to want to do in the middle of the board anyway. So, why not Eradicators in reserve and Ballista Shreds for hard targets? Eradicators do get played for Blood Angels, just not as commonly as you might think, I guess. Eradicators did just take a nerf up to 100 points for 3 of them. I think the difference is Eradicators have to be close to the enemy, right? Like, Eradicators are only toughness 5 and they have to be nice and close, whereas, like, you could have a tank that's, like, toughness 10 and can sit 48 inches away and can kind of do the same amount of damage. So, people, I think, prefer to have that more safer option. Yeah, so I think that is it. Sorry about all the mess up at the start of tonight's stream. I had to go and check on my kids and I couldn't get started because one of my kids is, I guess, was like all feverish and stuff. I'm going to actually go check on her right now. So I should be live on Wednesday night. We are planning to play against Miles' Thousand Suns, hopefully. Miles is going to bring his Thousand Suns, and hopefully I'm going to have my double impulsor list. So hopefully I'll be able to do that on Wednesday night. I'll have a tactics video out on Friday. Yeah, I'm just at a bit of 6s and 7s because my kid was feeling unwell. So sorry about taking 10 minutes to get started tonight. Sorry about the AFK at the very start. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Thank you very much for the super chats, the likes, the new memberships. Come join us in the Discord. If anyone has any of those tournament lists that have done well, someone was mentioning them in BCP, I would love it. Please DM me on them. Please DM me any really meaningful lists on Discord, because I mean, it's great content for me, but it also helps me share my opinions on it with all you guys, and seeing what people do and seeing what people win tournaments with is very, very powerful. So yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everyone in America as well. I hope you have a great Thursday. Have I ever used the Vindicator? The Vindicator tank, yes. I might actually see if I can fit one into my list for Wednesday. I'm not entirely sure I've got the points though. But yes, I do like the Vindicator tank. If you're talking about just the danger with Vindicator tanks is it is a firstborn tank. And firstborn units we know are potentially getting squatted in 11th edition. So if you do not own any Vindicator tanks, if you buy them now, there's a chance you're not going to be able to use them. So that's the big risk with the Vindicator tanks. But all right, have a great evening, guys. We'll see you Wednesday night for the battle report, and we'll be live at some point painting as always. Have a great week. Have a good Thanksgiving. Leave a like on the stream and subscribe, please. See you all later. Bye-bye. Once I can find the damn... Even my OBS is messing with me tonight.